What's up? Welcome back to the Chill Factor channel. We are hanging out with you tonight because we got through watching Halloween Kills and we thought that we would jump in here and do a little bit of a review and like what we thought about it.
Yeah, so I actually loved this movie, so I couldn't wait to actually talk about it. And I really wasn't that excited going into this one because I'll be honest, I know people are going to hate me for it. I wasn't that big of a fan the first couple of times we watched Halloween 2018.
2018 fell flat to us.
Very flat.
It was a hard pill to swallow when they kind of like decided to F up the whole timeline of the Halloween thing anyway. So like 2018 was weird to us. Not only did the kills fall flat, this a lot of the like camera shots were just not what they could have been. It was just a lot missing and a lot of like story changes, and it was a lot for like the public to take, I think.
Yeah, it was it took me till the last rewatch because we watched it again before Halloween Kills, before I really started appreciating it more. And actually I think after watching Halloween Kills, I'm getting a little bit more into this timelines because there's been a few different Halloween timelines, but I'm getting a little bit more into it and it makes me more excited for what they're going to do next. But we're not here to really talk about Halloween 2018. We're here to talk about Kills. I really enjoyed this film. Now, obviously, there's a lot of things that you could sit and pick apart about it. It's a slasher. It's the, what, 12th installment. There's going to be some actors that aren't that great. There's always going to be some cheesy lines and plots throughout. But for the most part, the kills were super brutal. They were intense. It's almost like they borrowed a little bit from Zombie. I know we talked about that.
Yeah, we did talk about that. It's like they, for me, I look at, and I'm just going to touch on this briefly. 2018 to me was nothing but an intro to Halloween Kills. And that's kind of the way I look at it, because not a lot is going to like grab you by the boo-boo until you get to Halloween Kills in this little trilogy thing that they're trying to work out right now. Like she said, the kills were like almost zombie-esque in fashion, and somewhat shocking in some places. And I mean, the you know, so-called jump scares don't necessarily get us, but for the majority of the public, there were some good ones.
There were some
yeah,
good
the
ones.
gore was good. I mean, yes.
Especially for a Halloween movie, because I mean, the original, which is one of my favorite movies ever, I mean, it's not gory. And I mean, they got a little bit more brutal, a little bit more gory as time went on, but nothing like this newer film. And so that's kind of what I was here for. I was hoping for some intensity in these new ones, and this one actually, yeah, it grabbed you. It made you go, wow.
Yep. I also really liked the historic effect of this one. How they kind of took the storyline back to, spoiler alert, okay? But yeah, they took the story back to like one of the cops that had like had him cornered and then effed up and let him go, and then that's the reason why he, you know, tore ass through the town and went after Laurie Strode and the babysitters and all their kids and all that stuff. It's because of this, you know, one dude, this one like sheriff deputy or whatever that could have had him and effed it up. And then that's kind of what developed through the whole movie, even in the first. So it was neat to see that go back. It was good.
I really liked the flashback elements. What they added, however they did the Loomis shots.
Yeah, whatever that was.
Whatever they did with that, I enjoyed them adding that. And the actual flashbacks where you saw Annie again and stuff from the original, I mean, some people might complain about that, but I really thought it added a whole new element to the story and everything. And I do see people arguing that it's kind of clunky and all over the place, and maybe not liking, again, the spoiler, the mob scene. So with the mob scene, I do feel like that's probably the one part I'd get nitpicky and say that could have been shorter. Obviously, it had a few maybe cheesy moments in that moment, but otherwise, I get what they were going for with the mob scene, and it kind of develops a little bit more in the movie and towards the end. So I wouldn't leave it out totally, but that's one of the moments that wasn't my favorite.
I think the most cliche thing that happened in Halloween Kills, as the town gets angry, you know, there's a complete uprise about wanting to kill the monster, and I totally get the metaphor. I understand they dug that out of like Frankenstein's book. I mean, you know, it was it. about how the townspeople get angry and then there's a mob coming after the killer, that kind of scenario. I totally get it, but they tried to go overly artful with it. To the point to where, you know, a lot of slow motion, a lot of, the whole scene was like dragging ass, you know.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was good. It was good. Shot well.
Right.
Totally got the metaphor. Totally got it. You know that. You know, in the end, the townspeople become the monster instead of the monster being the monster. I totally get it, but it was drug out.
Yeah, I kind of like the cowboy cop at the end sitting at the stairs, like looking all like destitute. Like, what do I do? I have to
Don't know what to do about all
I have
these
to rest half the town, or at least the half the town that's not like murdered by the end of the movie. But wow, that brings me back to the brutality, and the body count was unreal.
I don't know what the body count was, but
yeah,
it was. Maybe it's about at. I guess on body count level, I would say that it was like on par with the Friday the 13th remake. Like, because I mean, it was kill after kill after kill, and pretty much this one was too. But however, I think that the Halloween Kills still trumps that one. Just for the fireman scene.
Yeah, the fireman
like,
scene, that was
when they go to get him, and he just basically takes them all out with their own toys that they have. Yeah, I love how, you know, and I also said this too. I'm like, well, if they were gonna put a perfect scenario where he could take out a whole bunch of like authority type figures, and that's the perfect. Send a bunch of firemen in. They don't have guns.
Right.
You know, they got hoses, and a few might have an axe or something. But yeah, so I mean, you know, Michael totally takes the advantage of that and just slaughters them all with their hoses and.
Yeah, I think it trumps a lot of movies because there was like what 11 firemen or something.
Ooh,
it's
yeah.
Bam,
it
bam,
good.
bam.
No.
But it was shot so well, and that fire scene itself, like, just shows you just how beautifully shot it was, and
everything was really good about it. Cinematically, I have no complaints about the movie.
No,
Cinematically, it was right up there. I'd say the only, and then we say, you know, we level it with the brutality of Rob Zombie, but at the same time, like, you look at the actual cinematic value. The way Zombie shoots things is different. He really likes close-ups. It's almost like extreme close-ups to where he almost cuts out what's almost important. And you'll notice that if you go back and watch his movies, he'll just take it and like be right there, and the only thing you'll see is like an eyeball. And they did some of that in this, not so extreme as a zombie zoom in or something like that, but you'll see what I'm talking about. You go back and watch it through, you'll see the clip changes and the scene changes, and you'll see how they tried to bring that in a little to intensify the gore.
And I think some people might even have said it was a little bit too gory for them, and I'm like, I don't know. I was kind of ready for a gory Halloween movie.
I needed one.
Yes.
I was due for some slaughter and slasher.
I definitely was, especially after 2018. And there's some complaints I see about there not being enough of like Lori and Karen and Allison, but I actually think that's kind of the point, because it goes back to what the mob scene and the whole town being after him, because it was more about everyone experiencing Michael and how it kind of changes you.
In the end, it was how Michael affected this town, not how he affected Laurie Strode, which was in some dimensions his sister. We won't even get into that. But like, it was how he affected everyone, not just her. And then in the end, she kind of learns that it's not about her anymore. It's just about Michael. Yeah. So I mean, that's the way it was supposed to be, though.
It's about evil. It's kind of a
it's about evil in human form and this unstoppable force. That's what it's supposed to be about. And I don't know, they got back to it in this one. So I mean, thumbs up here, dude. Kudos to them.
I loved it.
It was good.
To me, like I said, it makes me ready to see the Halloween Ends, because
how are they going to end it?
This was a perfect bridge between the two. You can't just watch this one standalone, I don't think, because then you might be like,
Like I said, 2018 was a stepping stone to this movie.
Yeah, and now I'm ready to actually see where they take it from here. I guess one of the only other things I would say is, gosh darn it, could they not give me Paul Rudd as Tommy Doyle, though?
I don't know.
I'm just gonna laugh because I loved him so much.
What's his name? The guy who did it?
Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall. And for those of you who watched Freddy Got Fingered, or the Tom Green movie, Freddy Got Fingered.
That's where you're gonna pull.
Yeah, that's where I gotta pull him from, man, because that's what I see, man. Like he was in a suit and he was driving like a Ferrari.
The early things.
And now I see the Tommy Doyle Halloween Kills, and I'm like, this is not even the same dude. This is like This is like Coach Buzzcut from Beavis and Butthead. Not that guy.
He was definitely one of the over-the-top parts for me. One of the parts that I, like, thought, I mean, it's exciting to see them bring him back, but I wish they would have toned him down just a little bit in a few of the parts.
It was good. He was your quintessential, I'm a whooper's ass kind of guy.
I'm not going to totally hate on him, but like I said, there's always going to be a few cheesy lines, and they gave him a lot of them.
Let's see. Like, who else can we name drop? Who else can we give credit? Okay, Michael McDonald. If you ever watched Mad TV, if you ever watched Stuart... Michael McDonald did a fantastic job.
We were both like, wait a second, we know
that guy.
Oh,
we know that guy. He's old as shit now. Look at him, but we know him.
Yeah, the Big John, Little John. I mean,
yeah, the Big John, Little John.
But that was one of the moments where we were sitting there going, he's like, I got this knife, and I'm like, we would be out of the house.
And it might not be as entertaining to people who don't recognize these, like, sitcom icons that people are actually watching get slaughtered. I think
guys from the Mick.
Yeah, the other dude was from the Mick. Like, it's just, I think that whether a horror movie hits can really, like, does it hit the right crowd?
The right people.
It has to hit, I mean, and of course that's in every film.
We were the right crowd.
In every film, it's that. You're trying to concentrate, you're trying to hone in on a certain audience. But you can really see the people in the age range that they tried to target for this one, and I was like, wow, this is perfect for me. I'm loving this.
Yes.
I don't know if the next generation down would or the next generation up would, but for me, it was awesome. It was spot on. I had, cameos of people that I thought had died, or I've never seen them in anything since.
There was teenagers in this one too, which we're kind of starting to hate.
Yeah, there was way too many teenagers in the Halloween 2018, and I saw enough of that in Jennifer's Body. Jennifer's Body's great. I love it, but it's all about, like, teen girls and their experience. So.
Yeah, so Richie's even like, I'll come talk about Halloween Kills.
This is our
These
mascot.
people are always watching the freaky movies.
Chill Factor mascot.
She's like, I don't know how I felt about the music, which is something you want to talk
My bad. Oh, yes. Okay. In Halloween Kills, or even in 2018, I think it's the same music. They took the actual old John Carpenter's ditty for Halloween, and they kind of morphed it. Totally good with that. That was great. They tried to add some kind of new suspenseful type melody into these last few. I've not been crazy about it, so if you guys are out there watching, you go ahead and cut that, because I'm good. You don't need that in there at all.
But I feel like
it's really weird. It does not fit with the movie, so you guys can take that out. What else can we bring up? Let's bring up the fact that the end when they're all the mob has got him cornered. You all know he's gonna pick up the mask, and you're all just waiting. Like the audience is like, your audience is waiting for it. You've seen his actual old ass and what he looks like for about 2 or 3 minutes, and you've had enough. As an audience, you're like, go ahead and grab that.
He's got
you can put that back on now. We want you to kill everyone here, but we want you to put that on first. And that's exactly what it does, and it's spot on when the music hits and he's picking up the mask. I mean, it's great.
And let's go with the major spoiler. What does everybody else think about the ending? Because I know a lot of people loved the Karen character, and I kind of liked how they.
I thought Laurie Strode was going to bite it. From social media and everything else, I thought that this was going to be Laurie Strode's last one, and I'm relieved that it's not. Honestly, I mean, she is like the best final girl ever in all of horror and everything. She's the bomb. Her mom was the bomb. She's the bomb. Whatever she bursts out later will be the bomb, or now. I don't even know. She have kids? Probably. Okay.
I don't pay attention to all the celebrities' lives. But not now, because she's
But Jamie Lee Curtis was fantastic. I thought that in 2018, she took a whole, like, Grandma Rambo feel.
It was a little much.
It was way much.
Yeah.
It wasn't a little much. It was way much, okay? Because 2018, I'm rambling. I'm going now. In 2018, I feel like they brought on, like, this Terminator feel. Where the chick in Terminator came back because she was, just so ready for the enemy and the evil to return, the green tank tops and the machine guns and, everything on, it was just overkill. And then the same thing happened in, 2018. Everything that Jamie Lee Curtis would prepare for totally understandable, but it's at the same time overkill. So I'm glad that they veered away from that in Halloween Kills and concentrated more on how Laurie Strode was vulnerable. Not this superhero pissed off grandma.
Well, if she had left the hospital, a lot of people were like, why didn't she leave the hospital? I'm like, she had left it immediately. It would have been the most unbelievable thing about the movie. Forget the fact that he could survive literally anything. She's just gonna come walking out after surgery. No.
Laurie Strode is supposed to be vulnerable. She even said in an interview that we watched, there's some stuff with him and her and John Carpenter. Yeah. She was brought in to be the vulnerable, and that's totally understandable for a horror movie. I mean, that's basically what a horror movie is. The final girl is that vulnerable girl that is just strong enough to make it. I mean, that's the whole thing. Not badass to make it, you know, just strong enough to survive. That's the point.
Better than me, but
well, that would be you, actually.
Oh, no.
Make it by string.
I would trip, fall on my face in the first few minutes.
She wouldn't be the final girl. She'd be the first girl.
I would be, and I might be okay with that, because I'd be like, I'm over this already. Just take me out, please. Make it quick.
So, I mean, overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, what you give it?
I'm going to give it an 8. And I know I'm saying I love it, and you're like, oh, you wouldn't give it a 10, but it's not the original to me. It still is a bridge between two other movies. So I'm going to go with an 8 right now. Of course, that's going to fluctuate as I watch it. There's going to be some times where I'm like, that was a freaking 10, and a few times where I'm like, oh no.
But I think when you're watching movies, though, you're trying to give reviews, you want that initial reaction.
Yeah.
And then you want a follow-up reaction. Like, I mean, even tonight, I'll be honest with you guys, we watched it the second time through. I was kind of editing videos and stuff while it was happening. Like, I wasn't as zoned in on it. I wasn't as, like, focused. But then again, with movies, I don't... If you've seen it, you experienced it, you did it, you done it. Like, that's just kind of the way I feel about it, and that's the kind of way I feel about this.
Halloween movies, I'm like, I gotta watch.
However, though, I mean, I may have seemed bored the second round through, but that's not really true. I actually will give this an 8.5 at least. Maybe even a 9. And the only reason I don't give it even higher was for the one monster scene that drug ass. Other than that, I loved it. I even got the metaphor and soaked it in as the whole town, the town is the monster now, not him. I loved that cinematically, film-wise, I loved that. But I got to give it just a cut shot down because of they drug it out. They drug it out a little too far.
They drug a few things out for me.
Everything was really good, though. I really liked it. It was an enjoyable film, so I mean, it's an 8.5, maybe even a 9, however you guys want to take it. It was enjoyable for me. I think that if you're a horror fanatic, if you're a fan of Michael Myers, if you're a fan of anything...
If you're a slasher fan. I mean,
slasher
this
fan.
is a great slasher movie.
Check it out. It's well worth it.
Even if you're not into any of the Halloween stories, or the storyline of this bothers you.
This will catch you up, though. Even if you've never watched any Halloween movie, honestly, I feel...
You might need 2018, because it picks up right after, but...
Maybe. But they even kind of covered... Well,
no,
they don't. They pick it right after.
Literally right after. So.
Well, okay, let's split it this way. If you were just to pick up on the entire saga that is Halloween, and if you picked it up with 2018 and watched until now... You'd be good.
You'd be good.
You'd be good. You'd miss the classic. You'd miss an absolute classic. And I don't recommend this for anybody. You should absolutely watch the 1978. No matter what. But I feel that if you have watched none, and this is for the younger generation, if you have watched none, and you're just picking up 2018 on, you're rocking it, and I think you'll enjoy it. Just stick it through that 2018. It's a little drag ass, but you'll get through it. It's good.
And I understand there are going to be people that hate it. And I'm interested in see everybody's comments and what you actually think about it and what you didn't enjoy and what you loved about it.
Let's start a conversation. Get it on, man. Go down there and check it out.
I completely agree, because you might even bring up some stuff where I'm like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah, you can totally prove us wrong, too. I mean, this is all opinionated,
guys.
I
love it anyways. Yeah. But I could be like, oh yeah, I forgot. I really didn't like that part either. But anyways, it was great. I give it a complete thumbs up. And also, while we were watching this, I was thinking about how I'm going to get to unbox this guy soon. Because I got my little Michael Myers in this week. Perfect.
Just don't do that here in just a few minutes. Don't let her fool you.
I can't wait to break it to the boss. I mean, this is my favorite slasher character, favorite movie, favorite everything. He's going to show the box off. I don't do that enough.
While you're hanging out with us, make sure you go down there, hit that like, hit that sub, hit that bell. That way you can hang out with us every single time that we add a new video to this channel. And while you're doing it, while you're at it, be kind, hit that like, it helps.
Thank you for joining us for our first real after movie talk.
First one.
Yeah, we've been saying
talked about it forever.
We've been saying forever we would do it, but then we'd watch a movie and be like, that was great, but okay.
We have a lot to say.
Yeah, we do have a lot to say.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I'm sure we rambled a lot at each other. I swear it'll get better.
I'll try to cut a lot of it out if I can. If you got a movie you want us to watch, and so we can just ramble about it, and let's, you know, get some conversation going, hit us up. Put it in the comments. Tell us the next one you guys want us to, like, do this for, if you guys enjoy this at all.
Probably seen it. If we haven't, that makes it even more fun.
Yeah.
So.
But no, I mean, we talk about horror movies and dissect horror movies pretty much every day of our lives, so this would be kind of fun. I think you guys would enjoy it too, so let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate that. You do what you do. We're going to do what we do, and I'll see you guys on the next one.